Hi, today's video is just going to be a very quick and simple video on how to fill a font with a solid colour or a pattern. Now this was a request via my blog from somebody called Anna, so I hope it helps. I'm not going to go into great detail about the pens and things I'm using because I have got a font playlist on my YouTube channel which covers all the videos I've done using fonts, and I've also got a playlist called Live, and I did a live video last year on using the universal pen holder. So you know, if you need to know how to use these, go and have a look in those respective playlists. But for now, this is just going to be how to fill some text with either a solid or a pattern fill using your ScanNCut machine. So what I'm going to do, I've got my universal pen holder here and I've already got it set up with a pen, and I've also got the regular pen holder. I don't use these pens very often, I must admit, so I'm not sure how, I mean, I've had them probably over 3 years, so I don't know how much ink or whatever's left in them, but just in case you've not got the universal pen holder, I'm going to show you the same way using the regular pen that comes with it. So there's a little holder in the top for your lid. Press the button on the back to open it, drop your pen in, and that's it. So that's the 2 pen holders that I'm going to use. The normal one that comes with the, I think it's 6 coloured pens, or the universal pen holder that you can use with any pen that you can make fit. I've got a piece of paper already put on my mat just to save some time. I'm just going to bring this nearer so hopefully you can see it. So I'm going to go into pattern and I'm just going to do this with text. So I'm going to go to the text icon and choose a font. I'm going to use all uppercase. It doesn't matter, but I'm just hoping you might see it a little bit better on the video. And I'm just going to put hi and OK and set it on my mat. So there is my word hi. I'll come into the top left hand corner, which is like the editing icon, and then into the icon that's got the horizontal and vertical arrow, and I'll make it bigger because it's only just over 1 inch at the moment, so I'll make it just over 2 inches high. Now this is the screen where you apply the fill to whatever design you've got on your mat. Now by default it's blacked out. When you press it, it goes purple and you'll instantly see that whatever's on your screen fills with a colour. Now that's okay, so I'm going to say okay, but what fill do you want? Do you want a solid fill or do you want a pattern? And the way you choose that is come into the wrench icon on the front of your machine and you scroll down to page 4 and it says fill / additional line, and you click on the wrench icon, and then here straight away you will have by default a pattern fill, which I think is usually the solid fill. When you click on the wrench next to that box that's filled with solid black, it will bring up the other options. There are 5 pattern options that you can choose from. So you've got a solid fill, you've got horizontal lines, you've got horizontal and vertical, you've got a kind of diamond shape, and then a more detailed cross and diamond shape. So we'll stick with pattern 1 at first, which you know is highlighted because there's a purple strap above it, and we'll say OK, and we'll say OK, and OK again. And because we went into this box originally and applied the fill, you can see that that's what we've got there. So I've got a mat with some paper on it, which I'm just going to load in. I'm going to take the blade out, and the first one I'm going to use is the regular pen holder with the standard pens. So I'm just going to drop that in, lock it into place, say OK. I'm trying to do this so you can see it, but so that I can see it as well. So hopefully when I come to edit it, I might be able to zoom in a bit more on the screen. I'm going to say OK, and then we want to draw. So I'm going to choose draw, and then I'm going to click the start button. Okay, so that's finished now, so I'm going to say okay. Just before I go any further, I'm just going to go back into the range settings and go to page 2, and you'll see that I've got my draw pressure on 3 and my draw speed on 3. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the draw pressure down to the default, which is 0, just to see if it makes any difference, because I'm going to use the universal pen holder in a minute. But what I'm also going to do, I'm going to draw the same word but without the fill. So I'll say okay, I'll hit the back button, I'll go to, in fact I'll just go back, I'll select this, go into the editing icon, go to the box with the up and down arrows, and I'm going to say 2, and that's going to put another one on there. And I'm just going to put it next to it. Now I'm going to select the first one and delete it because I don't want it to draw over that again. Now with this one, I'm going to take the fill out. So I'm going to come back into the editing icon, switch off the purple fill. You can see now, or you may not be able to see, but it's now just hollow. So I'm going to say okay, okay, and because I moved it over, when I click draw this time, it's going to draw it next to it, and it'll just make it a little bit quicker. And then I'll do the same with the universal pen holder. So I'll say go. So you can see how much quicker that was just by doing it without the fill. You're going to have to play around with the draw pressure because that is determined by what pens you're using. So now I'm going to say okay, I'm going to hit the back button, I'm going to select the word high, go into the editing icon, come back down to the icon that gives us the options to change multiple things, and I'm going to say, I'm going to put the fill on and say okay, and then I'm going to move it over so it will draw in a different place. And just to save some time, I'm going to make it a bit smaller. I'm going to say okay. Now this time I'm going to take the regular pen out, press the button to open the lid, take the pen out, put the plastic lid back on it, and hopefully that'll, you know, give it a bit more life. And I'm going to put my universal pen holder in. So I'm going to drop that down and lock it in. I'm going to say okay, okay. In fact, just go back. Yeah, I've got the fill on. Okay, draw, and start. Okay, so that one's now complete. Now this one is a little bit patchy. I don't know whether that is the pen that might be running out of ink, or it might be when I go into the settings, I need to go back to page 2 and I may need to increase the draw pressure. As I say, you need to play around with this. What I would do before you use it on a specific project, I would, you know, draw a letter. It doesn't have to be 2 inches or, you know, 1.5 inches high or whatever. Draw a letter or a shape, apply the fill and put your pen in and put the fill design that you want and try it with the pen and make sure that it is going to work properly before you try it on a project. So I think what I'll do, I'll leave the pressure on 1 now, and I'll say okay. And then we'll go back and I'll go to add, and this time I'll just choose a circle. I'll make it smaller just to save some time. I don't need to draw a 3-inch circle and fill it in. Make it about 1 inch and say OK. And I'm just going to bring it down the page a bit just so it's out of the way of these that I've already done. And then I'm going to go back into the settings. I'm going to go to the page where the fill additional line is, which is on page 4. Select the wrench next to the solid fill, and this time I'll do this diagonal pattern, which is number 5, and I'll say OK, OK, OK. Now with my circle selected, I need to go into the editing icons, then into the adjustment icons and apply the fill and say OK. I'm going to get rid of the word high because otherwise it will draw it again. And I'm going to say OK, OK, draw and go. Okay, so that's finished. So I'm going to unload the mat and then I'll just show you. So this is the first one I did with the regular pen and applied the fill. That's it without the fill. This is with the pen from the universal pen holder. And this is from the same pen as this with the universal pen holder, with the draw pressure taken up to 1. This was on the default, and with filling it in with the pattern number 5. So this fill applies to any text or shape that you use. So it doesn't matter, you know, whether you use a font or an inbuilt shape or whatever, you can fill it in with these patterns. So just to recap, let me just take my pen holder out and put my lid on. So we'll go back to the home button and say OK to delete all patterns. So just to recap, if you want to fill text or a shape with either a solid colour or a pattern that's in the machine, go to patterns, choose your text or your shape. I'll just use a different font this time. I'll just leave it. I'll do a capital H and then ELLO in lowercase, say OK, set it on the mat. I'll make it bigger so you can see it. So I'll just go back. So I've got it on the mat. I'm going to the editing icon button top left, then into the editing icon that will break down the sections even more for me. So this is the horizontal and vertical arrows. From here, I can change the height, I can flip it, I can rotate it, and I can put the pattern fill on. So I'll just make it bigger just so that you can see it better on screen. And then I'm going to put the fill on so it goes purple, and it will fill it with whatever pattern is set within the wrench icon. So always make sure you go into the wrench icon and go to page 4, which is fill stroke additional lines, choose the wrench next to the pattern and apply the fill that you want to apply. So if it's a solid fill, if you're doing text and you want it to look like a hand stamped image, you'll want the solid fill. Say OK, OK, OK again, and then you're back here, and just make sure from within this editing window where you can adjust the size that you've got the fill selected. If you don't, no matter what design you choose from within the wrench, if you've not got the fill selected here on this page, it will only draw the outline. So you have to apply the fill and say OK, and then it will show you on the screen that it's got the fill in. So if you forget, you just go back and you switch it off. If it looks like this and you think, oh, you know, I know I've applied the solid fill, but it's not showing me on there, you have to go into this editing window and make sure you switch that on, and you'll instantly see it filled with a pattern. And then you say, okay, okay, okay again, and you're ready to draw. So I hope that helped Anna and anybody else. Do go back to my channel and go to the live playlist and the font playlist and just have a look through all the different videos that are in there, because I have covered this before in other videos or within projects, but I just wanted to do a specific video just on how to fill with a colour or pattern fill. Please give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't already do so, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.